The clock is ticking down as we grow closer to the 96th Annual Academy Awards show. With less than 4 weeks left, we dive into another of the Best Picture nominees, leaving us just 3 more to review. This week we have decided to tackle a film with the usual amount of praise for a Best Picture contender, but one that hasn't quite broken into the mainstream as some of the others have: American Fiction. Written and directed by Cord Jefferson and based on the novel Erasure by Percival Everett, American Fiction is the story of Thelonious Monk Ellison, played by Jeffrey Wright, an African-American writer and professor living in LA. Monk is a man who considers himself an intellectual, and indeed he is intelligent, well-spoken, and a true academic. Unfortunately, while considered well-written academically, Monk's novels fail to sell well, with his latest novel being rejected by publishers for not being, quote-unquote, black enough. Placed on leave due to a dispute with a student over racial insensitivity, and outsold by author Santara Golden's novel, Weeze Lives in the Ghetto, Monk is frustrated by an industry that propagates black stereotypes for profit. Going back home to Boston, Monk reconnects with his family, where he writes a satirical version of the trite stereotype novels he despises, only to immediately be confronted with the dilemma that the novel he thinks is the worst thing he's ever written is the manuscript publishers want most from him. American Fiction was quite the surprise upon viewing. With Hollywood, you never know what to expect when it comes to a movie so cemented in race. Surprisingly, however, I found the overall themes and message one I could absolutely agree with. The film is very well written and directed, an impressive feat as this is Cord Jefferson's first ever theatrical film, though he has worked in television in the past. Jeffrey Wright as Monk gives a phenomenal performance deserving of his nomination that really drives the entire film, and truly helps sell its theme. The supporting cast likewise, from nominee Sterling K. Brown as Monk's brother Cliff, to Maya Lucretia Taylor as family housekeeper Lorraine, are all well acted. Unfortunately, however, while I agree with the movie's main message and the film is well made from a technical point of view, I must highlight some glaring downsides as well. The movie often feels like it contradicts itself, being a movie of two minds, speaking out against the stereotype of black Americans, yet firmly rooted at others in the leftist Hollywood mindset responsible for the propagated stereotypes in Hollywood. Monk is a man who wants to earn recognition because he deserves it, not because he is black, something that is admirable, to be judged on one's merit, not one's skin color. But in an attempt not to offend anyone, the movie plays devil's advocate frequently, showcasing that perhaps there is some fault in Monk's mindset, when there is not nor should be. The movie makes fun of the upper elite and those with white guilt, who play up the worst black stereotypes not because they care, but because they are social justice warriors, assuaging their own conscience. It often does this hilariously, and its commentary is true, but fails to point out that it is the very people who have promoted and praised this movie that are the most guilty. American Fiction is a movie that almost gets it right, half amazing and half eye-roll inducingly cliched, bogged by the piss-poor Hollywood morality. Almost as if Jefferson wanted to tell the truth, but also knew he had to play nice with the Hollywood elites, and sadly this cuts the film's credibility. I would agree it deserves most of its nominations, and I honestly enjoyed it more than many of the other Best Picture nominees, but it still feels like a movie guilty of being a product of its time when it came so close to having something timeless to say. I give American Fiction 2.5 out of 4 stars.